Hi guys. I'm just going to turn this a little bit. Okay. So I am at the clinic where I work, and I just finished up with my clients for the day. And I've just had these experiences in the last few days that are so profound that I really wanted to share. I have a spiritual group that I'm part of, and we met recently. Actually, we were working with a healer, and then we just all really connected and wanted to stay in touch after our amazing experience. So we are staying in touch, and we did a group meditation just the other day, last weekend, and we're going to try to do it regularly. But it was just so incredible for me, because I suggested the idea, and then we all got together all over the world. Some of us are in Japan, in the United States. I'm in Canada, and there's people in our group all over that have the recording and have been continuing to practice the meditation this week, and it's just been really incredible, all of our experiences. So I thought I wanted to try to I just feel so strongly that when something is really important to share, that I should share it. So so basically, my experiences over the last couple of years, I'm a body worker. I've been a body worker, massage therapist, craniosacral therapist, healer for about 20 years. I started really young. I'm 40, and even as a child, I really loved massaging my family, and so I started very young, getting into kind of healing arts and working with energy. And so in the last 2 years, I've had a lot of experiences, very deep spiritual experiences that have really completely not only changed my life, but have, I'm getting teary, have completely changed everything that I do. Like everything that I'm working towards and everything that I'm moving towards in my life are based on these experiences. So so I won't go into all of them, but the one that is relevant here is that when I'm working on my clients with craniosacral work, and I'm in a very, very, very deep space. So this is the room that I tend to work. Sometimes I work in my house, but usually I'm in this clinic in Ottawa, the Ottawa Integrative Health Center. And so if I'm working on the head, and I'm working around this area here, so the sagittal suture between the two parietal bones, and I'm working kind of at this space right here. So I'm just, I work with a lot of children with autism, and I work with a lot of older individuals, and just a variety of different people. So at times when I'm in that space, how it seems to work is that my body is positioned at the head of the table. This is the treatment table here. I'll show you guys. And so so over here at the head of the table, I'm sitting on a little chair, and the client's head is back there, and I'm behind them. And so, and I haven't explained this to too many people, so if anybody who watches this now or on the replay has any insight or anything to share, or anything that they may know about what my experience is, I would be so grateful, because I've been reading and trying to understand what is happening. So basically, so I'm sitting at the head of the table, and the person's head is here, and I've been working maybe at this point on them for like 45 minutes. So I'm very, very, very deep in a meditative state. And I'm usually like, I'm super quiet, and I'm very much in complete non-separation and flow with everything in the room. The person for this experience to happen, the person is very, very, very deep. Either they're sleeping or they're incredibly deep, like they're not stirring at all. They're not like clearing their throat. They're just incredibly deep. So this is not something that happens every day at all. This is an occurrence that when it happens, it's just so unbelievable. So I'm in this state, and then I get to a place where, and I always treat with my eyes closed, so my eyes are always closed during these experiences. So there's a point when there's a lot of like light and dark kind of swirling in the field that I'm seeing, that's actually visual. So for the most part, I'm a very kinesthetic healer, and I'm very much, I feel in my body often intuitively what's going on in the client's body, and I often will feel a lot of things, like my throat will need to clear, or something will happen, and I'll know where I need to go next. But with these experiences, I'm in this very, very deep space, and suddenly this orb appears. And I mean, I've learned how to work in the 4th dimension very, very easily, in that, like they talk about when you can see with your 3rd eye, and if your eyes are closed, you sense the energy differently. Like if you walk towards a tree with your eyes closed, you feel its field before you get to it. So these layers are very comfortable for me, but these deeper layers are very new, and they're very hard to explain to people because they go beyond words. But so basically what happens is this orb appears above the person's middle. So about halfway between the solar plexus and the dantian, which is the acupuncture point that's about that far below the umbilicus, below the belly button. So this ball appears over the person's body, and it looks like a sea anemone, like it's in constant motion. It is so full and rich, and there's so much happening. At first I thought it was a chakra, or I thought it was maybe something to do with the person's energetic field. Anyway, there were all these different things initially that I thought. And the thing about it that is amazing is whenever it happens, it kind of catches me by surprise. And then I see this, and I'm just in awe, and it's so incredible, and I have no thoughts. Like, it's just all the space is black, and then there's this light and dark orb that's just in constant motion. It's like the light is in motion, and then the dark is in between. And so the moment I have a thought, and this is something that's really interesting as well, that I had this thought, like, I want to get closer to it, or I want to see it more clearly, or I wonder, like, I don't know, I always have this thought, I want to get closer. And as soon as the thought enters my mind, it's like completely gone. I'm completely bumped out of the space, and there's never been a time where I've been able to get back into the space again once I've been bumped out. So I've started to learn. I'm tearing up so much, sorry. I don't usually share this kind of like deep inner work publicly. So, so basically, my entire life is about this space now. And what I have discovered is that when I go into the space, a couple of things I've discovered. One of the things I've discovered is when I'm in this space, the client on the table, at the end of the session, when they get up and they talk to me, there has been a profound healing that has happened. There's something so different in them. They've let go of so much, or sometimes they're in tears. I don't share this experience with them. I haven't shared it with any of my clients ever. I mean, some of you may be watching now and are learning, but generally speaking, this has been very private for me, and I've just been researching and trying to figure out what it is. So basically, that's one thing I learned, is that there's not only so much healing that happens for me in this space, but there's healing that happens for the client. The other thing that I've learned is, gosh, the thought has escaped me now, but that's okay. I'll move on to something else and I'll come back to it. But so in this beautiful spiritual group that I'm in, that we just love each other so much, and we're so exploratory and wanting to kind of explore different techniques and do different things. So we're meeting now for these meditations, and they're inspired by this orb that I see. So basically, I've been researching a lot, and what I've come to that's the most close to what I think I'm seeing, and if anyone knows anything about this, please let me know. But this is Barbara Brennan's work, and she is a healer in Florida. She's quite elderly now. She was a NASA astronaut, amazingly, like one of the first women, I think, and discovered things while she was in space, and then became an energy healer. And then she has her own energy school called the Barbara Brennan Healing School, I believe, in Florida. So she speaks about this Hara line in the body of, like, in the body's energy consciousness system, and how within that line you can, she talks about how each chakra is in a different, not each, but some of the chakras are in different dimensions. And when you get to the level of the Hara line, it's another dimension. And then when you get to the level of what she calls the core star, you're in the deepest dimension that humans can access. And it is this space where there's only one, I believe, core star chakra for everything and anything that exists and all that is living. So I suspect this is where I have been. I am still doing more research. I have an amazing friend in India, and she's Hindu, and she speaks about this, I think it's called a Sudarshan chakra. That is a chakra that there's only one, and it's like a weapon, and a warrior can carry it, and you can go deep into meditation, and only very specific people can see it. So anyway, there's all these different things I've read in different places, and I'm just trying to discover more about it. But basically, the most exciting part, and I think this is what I forgot to say before, is that I thought when the client's lying on the table, I always thought there's something above their midsection. So it must be their chakra or their connection to maybe their cord or something that was related to them, because I was the therapist and they're the client and they're lying on the table, so this must be them. But then I did the meditation by myself, and the same thing was there, and it was the same distance away. And it's the same one. It's the same one. I'm not, there's nothing different about it. There's no human in front of me, and it's still there. So, this is just an amazing thing for me. So anyhow, if anyone has any information, then yes, Gina, it is Barbara Ann Brennan. She's very old now. She has a lot of incredible teachers who teach her program now, I believe, in her school. It's the Brennan Healing. And she has many books. I think I have all her books. I think she has one called Healing Hands. Anyway, this is the most recent, and she's the most vulnerable in it. She goes the deepest with it. I really love this book a lot. And yes, so what I want to do now is what I thought, because I often get the experience more when I'm working on a client than when I'm by myself meditating, I thought doing the meditation in community with others, and this is what I brought up with my group that I'm in, is that if we do the meditation together, even if we're not in real time live, But if we watch the recording, like if I watch the recording and other people watch the recording and we all meditate in this energetic field of this particular 10-minute meditation, there might be more chance that I can reach the space, but also that others can reach the space, because I know, I'm certain in my soul that the clients on the table, when I experience that space, are in that space also, and they're at that deep level also, and they're just not conscious of it yet, because a lot of people fall asleep on the table. But so that's my belief, and I know in a 10-minute meditation, it's not necessarily going to happen. But my thought is that if I get into a regular practice of practicing this in groups, it will help to activate people to reach that depth or reach other depths of their own consciousness system, and also to be able to share this space, which I believe, like I'm pretty certain that all humans are meant to heal in this space. And this is another thing that I learned in my readings, is that as the orb is moving like this, it appears that what it is unmanifest life. So we, in this physical embodiment, in this manifestation, we are the manifest life. This particular version, this particular dimension, this particular manifestation at this particular moment. But there's infinite number of others going forward and back and in all directions, coming from the same space. So this space is the opposite, maybe, I don't know, of what we are or what we embody in this. This is like the creation, and that's the pre-creation or the embryo, or I'm not really sure. But I see a lot of times, I don't know if you've ever seen, there's a video of like a fish, and it does this like pattern in the sand at the bottom of the ocean. That pattern is so close to what I see. It's unbelievable. I'll see if I could find it on YouTube and share the link. And then when you look at like sea anemones or I see it in nature all the time. I'll look at something and I'll just be in awe. Or I know another one is when you bite into a fresh fig, and there's like all those like fibrils, and they're all coming to the center, and then there's this kind of, it almost looks like it's moving if you let your eyes blur. Anyway, the pattern comes up in nature often. So that is, yeah, so I'm excited. And I think what I will do is I want to, now that I explained that experience and kind of told you a little bit about what it means to me, I want to try to do a 10-minute silent meditation where we, either when you watch in the replay or now, at whatever point, you can tune in, sit down or lie down, or even if you're just listening to it while you're in the kitchen, and just see if you can go inward and deepen in and slow your breath while you're cooking dinner or washing dishes or whatever you're doing. I feel like if there's more of us in the field of this particular container of this 10-minute meditation, the more energy will go into the deepening to that level of consciousness. So let's see, I'm just going to check out these comments here. Hi, Abby. Hi, Melissa. Okay, let's see. Cool. Gina, is that a person who does a healing meditation? Amanda Morgan. I don't know her. Let's see. And then I don't think it's the Merkaba. I know that's I definitely have seen, sacred geometry in meditation. Like sometimes I'm in a dark space and there's little tiny octahedrons that are light. But that's very different from this. This is very different. I've never seen a Merkaba, but I've done many meditations where I place myself in one. Yeah, that's so interesting. Possibly craniosacral gills patterns. So the gills are the temporal bones of the skull, and they open and close like this as the fluid is produced and released. Maybe that's what you mean. Let's see. Oh, awesome! That's so nice. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll go into the meditation now. I am going to do it silent. I'm going to stay seated. And this is what I did with my group, which was really cool because it was also very healing for everyone. But what we did was I went into the space as if I was treating the collective cranium, basically. So because the experience happens to me generally when I'm treating a client, I wanted to go right back into that space to see if we could recreate the core star. So what I had them do was to visualize the core star between the solar plexus area, so right where the ribs come together, and the dantian, which is about 3, I'm not being accurate with my acupuncture terms, but I believe it's about this distance, so your 3 fingers, which is a number of chung, maybe it's 3 chung, don't quote me on that. I haven't looked at the terminology in a while. I just do this stuff. And it's been a long time since I've been in school. But yeah, basically like this distance underneath the umbilicus. So there's a point, an acupuncture point, and it feels like it's right between that, and it kind of floats away from the person a little bit, so away from you. So if you're lying down, you can visualize or picture me working at the crown while you're breathing, and then visualizing kind of like a floating light-filled orb over your belly, pretty much right over your belly button. And that's what we did. So if you're not comfortable with that, then don't, just turn it off. And if you are comfortable with that, it's been really incredible for people, very, very healing, and for me as well, because I've been watching the recording of myself doing the work, and it felt quite unbelievable to me to lie there and hear the recording while all of our breathing was happening and everything. So that was really neat. So I'm definitely going to watch this video again and again and do the meditation with this video as well, so that I can increase the energy in the field of this particular meditation. So feel free, if it's not a good time, to come back at a different time, or to just stay on and do what you're doing already, because what's happening now is also all of what's already happened and all of what is to happen. So it just feels like we only are here right now, but in fact, the field of this meditation has many more layers than just those that are on live right now. So what I will do is, so I'm just going to turn the lights lower in here. And then I have a timer. So we'll sit for 10 minutes or lie down. I'll sit. And I'm just going to, I'm just going to quiet into meditation. So you know what? I'll just be one moment because I'm still at my work, so I have to let them know that I'm going to be in meditation. So I didn't tell them downstairs I was still here, and they thought I had left for the night, so then they heard something and they were worried. All right, so I'm gonna start the timer and then we can sit for 10 minutes. So just before I start the timer, just start taking some breaths. And then just sink into wherever you're at. Feel your entire body from your toes, through your feet, through your calves and knees, thighs. Just feel every area of your body filled with the prana that you're breathing into, all of it. Through your belly, your hips, your pelvis, your back. Your chest, shoulders, arms down through the fingers, your neck, all the way up through the back of the head, the cranium, the forehead, and the face. Relax your jaw. And so just be really present with your entire body. Notice if you feel any pain or sensations. Okay, so what I will do is I'll just describe. I'm going to start the timer now. I'm going to describe where my positioning is. I had the timer all set up, but now it's doing something else. See, okay, here we go. Meditation ending bell. Okay, excellent. Start. Okay, so I am seated here, and I am placing my hands on the cranium of the collective of all of us, including me. And I'm just placing my thumbs right on where the sagittal suture runs in between the two parietal bones. So the thumbs are just on either side, right, like meeting the suture line. right where our crown chakra exists. Now, how I sit in treatment is such that the person has a flow of toroid, like a toroid shape of energy that flows up and in through that channel where all the chakras follow, and then up and out and exits at the sagittal suture. So there's this kind of circulating field that's coming up through the bottom and going out through the top. And there's a star chakra, but I don't remember the name of it right now, but it's about 10 inches above the crown chakra. So my heart happens to sit in that space because of where I'm situated in treatment. My heart falls at exactly the point where the person's higher crown chakra is, the one that's above. So where I am now, so what we're visualizing is that I am in that space where my heart meets the place where your chakra above the crown sits, and I'm right in the center where that toroid field is kind of pouring around. So we'll just take a few more breaths here and just deepen into the space where you are. And I'm going to stay very, very quiet. And when the timer goes off, then we can really slowly come back into the room, into the space, and feel, you can share in the comments maybe what you've been feeling, or after a replay, and just let me know what you are feeling. So I'm going to stay quiet here for the remaining minutes. So taking a couple of breaths here. Breathe back into the space where you are. And just slowly allowing your body to move just a little bit. Breathing a little more deeply. I always end sessions with a little bit of mudras and light language that kind of closes the energy. So if you're lying on your back, you can slowly turn onto your left side. And then just when you're ready, gradually come back into the room, opening the eyes. Taking your time. Okay, so that completes our meditation, and most people will probably decide to do the meditation in the replay, and that is what I'm going to do too. I'm going to lie down as if I'm having a session from myself, and in the same way that I did with my spiritual group when we were on a call together and we did this meditation. We recorded it, and we've all been re-listening to the incredible meditation and going back in, and the frequency of the energy in the experience is so powerful because of all of the energy around the replays and the just everybody going into this space. So potentially even the energy of this core star meditation, of any of the times I do it, may all be connected as well. So those will all kind of add frequency to the experience. Oh, Melissa, excellent. I'm glad that you were able to stay in the quiet of the meditation. Beautiful, beautiful. So thank you everybody so much. I'm so grateful that we are in a time where we have this incredible technology that we can share with each other, and we're just so blessed, and so I just have so much gratitude for this time that we're in, where we are safe to share and we have the ability to share, and that we are connected to people in every country in the world. I'm on calls with people in all kinds of places in the world in the past year, and it's just so beautiful to me. So much gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste, everybody. I will try to do this again sometime soon. Mwah.